Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Game 5 of Bomber versus MMA. So, in the bottom right, or I guess bottom middle center thing, whatever you want to call it, we're going to have MMA. And the top middle center thing, we're going to have ST Bomber, who is always very fun to watch, as well as MMA. So, in case you didn't catch Game 4, go catch Game 4, because it confused me, and I'm surprised this is, Game 4, because just go watch it. Just please go watch it. It was pretty gosh dang funny, actually, so I highly recommend you go check that one out. I had a lot of fun casting it, and I think you guys will have a lot of fun watching it. But anyway, this is going to be the deciding Game 5 between these two players, and of course the best of 5 series. It's actually alternated so far. It went MMA, I think it went MMA, Bomber, Bomber, MMA. I think that's how it's gone so far. So this is going to be Game 5 of that, of course. Gas taken a bit earlier for MMA, which we've actually seen in both games so far. There's the gas coming down from Bomber, or like all the games so far, pretty much. There's the standard getting into that SCV production. Now this map is kind of interesting for like any play, just because there's so much open area on this map. It's you'll see quite a bit of those big death ball-y type things do pretty well, but also there's a lot of ways you can concave in those big death balls. But I mean, really, in TvT you're not going to see too many death balls, so well, that's more of a Protoss thing, and we'll leave it to the pros. Haha, get it? No, that was lame, I'm sorry. So we'll go ahead and getting into this game as soon as possible. We did see Cloaked Banshee in the first couple of games. I don't know if we're going to see that again in Game 5. Game 4 did not feature it, but Games 1 through 3 all featured that Cloaked Banshee play. So we'll see if that ends up being a factor in this one. With the early gas so far from MMA not being used, yes, there's the factory coming down from him. So looks like we'll see something coming down, or looks like we'll probably see those Banshees coming up again from at least one of our players. Sometimes, I mean, every once in a while you'd think you'd see some sort of conservative play, but no, in this series we've seen pretty aggressive play from both players most of the time. Again, MMA is going to be moving down the Marines over to here to block out some scouting like we saw in Game 3. Just going to be checking kind of quickly, see if there's any hidden SCVs or anything like that down there that are just looking for anything, I suppose. There is going to be a scout for Bombers. This is actually the first game he's gone and scouted. I guess he's just scared of getting I won't even spoil Game 4 because you haven't watched it, but he's not getting that again. And, ooh, we're actually going to see the proxy starport coming down from Bomber. So that's actually going to make some very interesting play. Hellions coming out of this as well. So it looks like we may see some big pushes coming in from Bomber early, just trying to end this game as fast as possible. We are going to have the Cloaked Banshee. It's going to come a bit faster for MMA, but I don't know if it's going to hit quite as hard. We'll definitely see as far as that goes. These units are going to be pushing out, and if this SCV sees them, he should know that something is up. Looks like these Marines are just going to move to about here, maybe up to the watchtower. The SCV is actually going to move up to the watchtower. It's not going to see that starport quite yet, but it is going to see those Marines, and now that should tip MMA off a little bit, just making it be like, well, why are your Marines so far on the map? Why aren't you trying to deny my scouting and anything like that? Well, I guess technically he did deny scouting, but whatever. Units coming across the Hellions should be really effective against the Marines if they can get them lined up here. The spread of them is going to be pretty nice over the Hellion. Can get up right, like, well, here, anywhere-ish. Just line them up, then they're going to be able to do significant damage. It's actually going to be a drop at this point. I could have swore we were going to see Banshees. Drop coming in. We'll see how much damage it can do. It really just needs to kill off these Marines. And this Widow Mine coming out. We'll see what happens. This Widow Mine looks like it's going to be pretty good at saving MMA here. The Banshee's going to start getting out some of those Marines as well as the Hellion. Oh, and there's the Widow Mine hit. We'll see what he can get done here. There's a little bit of anti-air, and oh, he's going to lose the mana back. That's actually a pretty big loss at this point, especially with the Banshee moving out. Viking's going to be hurrying back to the base of Bomber. No expansions coming out from either player yet, which is definitely kind of interesting. And not much in gas for Bomber either, or MMA, I'm sorry. Check the units lost, you can see that MMA has lost more, and looks like he's going to lose a bit more now. So Bomber holds a 400 resource lead at this point, which is going to, of course, translate okay into these middle parts of the game. As far as the supply goes, Bomber is very far ahead. I'm not quite sure what's affecting that so much. I mean, sure, he lost some SCVs, and I guess it's just because Bomber's been producing so constantly at this point that he's been able to produce a pretty good lead as far as that goes. We have a Widowmine in the base of Bomber as well, so in case there's another Banshee, which there is, of course. And if Bomber's this one out as well, if he's able to just follow that Glimmer for long enough, MMA is just trying to do what he can to juke this thing. It's not going to happen. That is going to be exposed. Viking should be able to pick it off before it does anything at all. Maybe start to attack this Widowmine, but that's going to be it for that Banshee. And now he's got about a 500 resource lead, which of course is a heck of a lot better than the 400 he had before. Still no expansions from either player, so I'm kind of confused as to that regard, why neither of them have even really considered macro so far in this game. Widowmine's moving into position for Bomber. Bomber's actually playing much more in this game how MMA was playing in the first few. How he's just trying to, as you can see, just all that map vision, just almost all across the map. If there's a good diagonal line through it, he's got vision there. So Bomber now has the expansion coming down, but MMA still no command center down quite yet. He's just going to be going for more siege tank play, which of course we do not yet see from Bomber. We may see that later, and yep, there's a couple siege tanks coming down. Nothing really too significant at all. There's a Viking moving out, so now there's no way that MMA is going to make it to Bomber's base without him knowing very far in advance. He knew that just by getting a couple of those leads in the early game that he has earned the right to get out on that map and to pretty much take what he wants for the most part. Looks like this Marine's going to be pushing out here, just seeing if there's anything around here he needs to be worrying about. Siege tank sieging up, things along those lines. Then SCV is going to be moving out here. Looks like just checking for expansions. But the SCV is not going to have a fun time. Once he gets in there, he's probably going to die. So, Bomber actually starting to push out here, which is definitely kind of different. If he picks out the starport, that could be an okay pickup for him. Not going to get it back in the game by any means, but there's no more starport back in the base of Bomber, so he can completely halt any air production. We'll see if Bomber starts another one, because if we check the vision of MMA, I don't think he saw. Oh, he did see it, but he's just not going to go ahead and kill it, I suppose. Another siege tank finishing up. You can see the SCV here, just going to be kind of scouting out a bit. At this point, I would say MMA is to the point where he kind of has to go for an all-in type thing, because he has no expansion at this point. Bomber's already got orbitals up. The thing is, Bomber's army is a little bit bigger, not scarier, but oh, the first couple of siege tank shots coming out going to immediately make MMA lose a siege tank. And it looks like we may see MMA giving out an early GG and ending this series at this point, because there is no army left for MMA. And there we go. There's the GG, and there is our series. So, kind of an anticlimactic ending, I will admit. Probably wasn't the epic game we were hoping for. I would definitely admit that. Not quite as fast as Game 4, but it was still definitely interesting game as far as how everything played out with this proxy starport and everything and that drop coming in. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the series as well. If you did not, then that sucks for you. But anyway, I will see you guys for whatever video I decide to do next. I'll probably go into some Let's Plays or something soon. But I hope to see you next time for whatever next time holds. And we will see you later.